Welcome back to another financial update. This is the update for Friday, September 4th, 2020. And in economic and collapse news, unfortunately, it's being projected that over 50 million Americans will be fighting hunger by year end. So I believe this came out of Bloomberg, but here it is on Zero Hedge. And of course, I will go into my opinion shortly. But let's read. Has there ever been a time in your life when you haven't had enough food to make it through the week? If you have never experienced this, you are extremely fortunate. Even during the best of times, millions of Americans struggle with hunger, and these definitely are not the best of times. Because of all the crazy things that have happened so far in 2020, large numbers of people have been forced into dramatic lifestyle changes. Many Americans have deeply cut their food budgets due to a lack of income. Others are now only eating 1 or 2 meals a day. We are seeing more demand at food banks around the country than we ever have before. It is quite obvious that massive number of people are really hurting, and Bloomberg is reporting that it is being projected that the number of Americans that are fighting hunger will rise to more than 50 million by the end of this year. So if that's accurate, just to do a quick calculation, off the top of my head, 50 million out of 328 million is something like 15%. That's what I thought. 15% of the entire country. Before I go into this any further, folks, on my other channel, you've heard me talk about a few things. I have talked about prepping, and I have talked about fasting. If you are in a situation where you're not going to make it, like you're looking at your bank, you're looking at your checking account, you're looking at the food in your house, and you're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to eat this week, just get something that's going to really do you well. I mean, literally, if you want to start incorporating fasting into your diet, if only because you can't afford to eat every day, then just buy a thing of salt, and on the day that you don't eat, just ingest a decent amount of salt with your water, like maybe a tablespoon or something. That will provide your body with the electrolytes it needs to survive. You can literally live without food and just water and salt for a long time. Long time. But you need salt. The other thing that I want to say is, when you go to the grocery store, if you don't already have a giant bag of dry beans and a giant bag of rice to go with it, get that. But you also need to start, in my opinion, buying peanut butter. Unless you've got a major allergy to nuts, peanut butter is an incredibly dense, rich, nutrient food that will last you. It stays good on the shelf for about a year, so check the date. But I mean, I have been just loading up on peanut butter for this day. If this ever happens, I'm not letting my kids go hungry, and my woman can eat that peanut butter too. I'm happy to fast, but these are the ways that I personally prepare for something like this. And I'm not shy to this possible reality. So let's keep reading the article. To me, this is an absolutely staggering figure. It is. 15% is a lot. Right now, the U.S. has a total population of about 328 million people, and so that figure that Bloomberg quoted represents a sizable chunk of the country. And we certainly don't have to wait until the end of the year for the numbers to get really, really bad. In fact, it is being reported that one recent survey found that approximately 1/10 of all U.S. households haven't had enough food in a given week. Man, that is not this household for now. We are incredibly fortunate. We both still work. But please, folks, get prepared. Quote, during the pandemic, about 1/10 of American households reported that they haven't had enough food in a given week. That's a shocking figure for the world's richest country. It's more than double pre-19 figures and the highest since comparable government data starts in 1995. I feel especially bad for the children that are going hungry. Don't ever let your kids go hungry. Pick up the peanut butter, pick up the rice and beans now, get it while you can, get it while it's still available, get it while it's not completely overly inflated on the price, and your kids will eat. And if they say, Daddy, why aren't you eating? Be like, oh, I'm just dieting, and put some salt. I mean, it's technically true. And don't scare them. Don't let them know that there's a food shortage. Can you imagine how bad parents must feel when their children tell them that they are hungry and their parents have nothing to provide? Yeah, it's probably terrible. And this is just the beginning. Food prices are going to continue to skyrocket over the coming year. Absolutely. Inflation is coming, for sure. And that is just going to stretch family budgets even more. A few days ago, I strongly urged my readers to stockpile food. Let's just go into that article. That's exactly what I'm telling you right now, guys. Start stockpiling it. Buy lots of food and store it, and yep, that's what I'm saying. The economiccollapseblog.com, so you know what this is going to be about. But this whole article is about stockpiling food. We're not going to go into that you know what you can do. I mean, you want to go get canned goods too. Can of beans, those will last you a long time. Every time I go to the grocery store, I get a small stockpile. I have like 30 or 40 jars of peanut butter in my house, good to go. One of those can feed my boy and my woman a day. Yep. A few days ago, I strongly urged my readers to stockpile food. Food prices are only going to go higher. Economic conditions are going to deteriorate. In fact, some more major job cuts were announced. Ford just announced it will be eliminating 1,400 white-collar jobs. Yeah. The United Airlines, it's going to be furloughing 16,000 workers. Yep, we know. Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. A job loss can plunge a family into dire straits very rapidly. All over the... Shit. Sorry, folks, I just knocked my microphone. All over the U.S., we are seeing long lines of people driving very nice vehicles, waiting up to 6 hours to get food at local food banks. Now, what does that tell you? When you see someone driving a BMW into a food bank, they didn't prioritize their money right. They didn't live that minimalist, holy lifestyle. They lived that material, let's get into debt, keep up with the Joneses lifestyle. Oh shit, I have a BMW, but I can't afford food anymore. It's ridiculous. Don't be like that. Look, this article is on Zero Hedge. You could read it. I am going to just let you know that it's here. I think we know what the gist of this article is. That's just what I wanted to say. Okay. So yesterday we saw a huge drop in crypto prices, even after my update, as well as a big correction in the stock market, and gold and silver as well also took a hit. So let's read about this. V-shaped recovery from Bitcoin's biggest drop since March is unlikely, say analysts. Despite a slight bounce Friday morning, some analysts don't expect Bitcoin to chart a quick recovery from the digital double-digit price drop over the last 2 days. Yes, some don't. Bitcoin fell by over 10% on Thursday to 10,006, according to CoinDesk's Bitcoin Price Index. That's the biggest single-day percentage decline since March 12, when Bitcoin prices crashed around 40% amid a major sell-off across the equities market. Other data sources such as Bitstamp even logged Bitcoin as dropping a little below 10,000. At the press time of 10,520, the cryptocurrency is down 18.59% from the recent high of 12,476 registered on August 17th. Similar double-digit price pullbacks observed in April and May were quickly reversed in a couple of days, a sign of the buy the dip mentality. This time, though, a quick V-shaped recovery back to recent highs around 12,000 looks unlikely due to cryptocurrencies' increased sensitivity to traditional markets. The worst may be behind us, but Bitcoin can take days to form a good base, said crypto analyst Edward Mora. Matthew Dibb, co-founder and CEO of Stack, a provider of cryptocurrency trackers and funds, told CoinDesk that prices could drop below 10,000 if the global equity markets retrace. I'm still bullish, guys. This article basically says probably not coming back anytime soon. I think it is. I think we've seen plenty of days like this in the crypto market space, and I'm not really too worried about this, to be honest. While I'm talking, let me just pull out off the screen on my phone, which you can't see, my stock market portfolio. Let's just take a look. Yeah, so we're up today. We had a major correction yesterday, but it looks like people are buying up after that dip. So it'll be an interesting day to see what's going on. We'll see how long that lasts. That might just be this morning. Could be all day. Let's take a look at cryptomarketcap.com. CoinMarketCap. Polkadot took a big hit. Still the number 5 coin, apparently. And I've checked multiple resources on this. This coin is apparently the real deal. Or at least it's not BS, with one of Ethereum's co-founders working on this project. So, yeah, kind of crazy. I did FOMO into it yesterday on Binance. Don't know if that was a good move or not, but we'll see. But yeah, I think the whole market's in the red with the exception of Tether, which is normal in a time like this. People have tethered. EOS is up almost 7%. Who knows why? Neo. But yeah, everything else is pretty much going down. VeChain is slumping. Might be a time to pick up some VeChain if you like that coin. I have a friend who's all about it. It is his favorite bag. Supposedly many use cases on it. But yeah. Let's take a look at gold and silver. Gold and silver see some price pressure after U.S. jobs data. Gold and silver prices are modestly down in the wake of U.S. jobs report, whose numbers were mostly close to market expectations. October gold futures were last down $2 at $1,927.90. December COMEX silver prices were last down 8 cents at $26.81 an ounce. The just released U.S. employment situation report for August from the Labor Department showed non-farm payrolls rise by $1.37 million and employment rate of 8.4%. The non-farm number was in line with forecasts, but the unemployment rate was a bit lower than expected, which put some downside pressure on the precious metals. Traders and investors are generally deeming this report as upbeat for a U.S. economy that continues to recover from C-19 lockdowns seen this year. Global stock markets were mixed overnight, with European indexes mostly up and Asian indexes mostly down. The U.S. stock indexes are pointed toward mixed openings when the New York day session begins. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 hit record highs Wednesday and saw some big downside corrections Thursday. Absolutely, they did. That unnerved stock traders and investors. The months of September and October can be extra turbulent for stock and financial markets. A big sell-off in the U.S. stock market again today could support the safe haven gold and silver markets, but that's not a guarantee, as those metals did not get any support from Thursday's big sell-offs in the indexes. The important outside markets today see NYMEX crude oil prices firmer and trading around $41.50 a barrel. The U.S. dollar index is a bit firmer today. The yield on the U.S. Treasury 10-year note is trading around 0.65% today. There is no other U.S. economic data due for release Friday. U.S. markets close Monday for the Labor Day holiday and the unofficial end of summer. Technically, the gold bulls still have the firm overall near-term technical advantage. Amid recent choppy trading, prices are still in an uptrend on the daily bar chart. Bulls' next upside price objective is to produce a close in October futures above a solid resistance at this week's high of 1992.50. Bears' near-term downside projective is pushing forward. Okay, do you guys actually care when I read these bottom numbers? I don't know if you've noticed about my articles, but I usually trail off and stop reading when it gets super technical like this. Why don't you let me know in the comments below? I've got about 10 people listening to these videos a day, and I don't honestly know how long they stay open or they stay on these videos, but I'd be curious, do you guys care about this like minute data or just more of my opinion of the big picture stuff? Let me know. Otherwise, I'll make sure, because I'll make sure to read this stuff if you care. And taking a look at gold and silver prices, silver is actually bouncing back up as we speak. Gold is still trending downwards, but maybe not for long. Yeah, I still think silver is a great bet. You know what I say, Silver Eagles. All right, folks. See you tomorrow morning and then back on Monday. Have a great, well, you know what, folks? It's Labor Day. See you on Tuesday. Take care.